Moving on, Razorpay, now over 10 years old, has had a front row seat to India's fintech revolution. And the past 12 to 24 months have also included critical milestones such as redomiciling to India, getting RBI's approval for their payment aggregator license, and also processing over $180 billion in total payment volumes annually. We're here at Razorpay's annual flagship event, Razorpay FTX, to speak to its founder and CEO, Harshil Mathur, about what's next for the fintech unicorn. Take a look.
It's always great to look back at the journey and then see what's next. And that's been something that we keep focusing on, that, hey, we have achieved a lot in the last 10 years, but the world is just changing so rapidly. And of course, the biggest thing that is the focus for this year's event and this year's launches is AI. I've said it before, like AI is going to fundamentally change every process. Things that we see, hey, this is done and this is the best we can do, is not the best anymore. And most of our launches around that. So when we said, hey, our onboarding is the best and the best you can get, we said, like, AI changes it. It is not the best anymore. Similarly, like our developer documentation and integration is the best that can be. But the AI changes. Now you don't need to look at documentation. You just ask your AI, hey, can you integrate this for me? And it'll do it for you.
Well, sounds like a very costly affair to having to upgrade your products every few years with the new technology, right? You said it's been, of course, 10 years now for Razorpay. If you sort of look back at the journey in a time lapse, and you showed us the video of that founder that really probably resonated with a lot of people in the audience, including you. Did you have such moments when you look back that stand out in these 10 years?
Oh yeah, so many. Like the startup journey is full of ups and downs. A lot more downs, a lot less ups. So the ups are a lot more visible outside. The downs are a lot more visible inside. So it's been it's been a roller coaster journey, and I couldn't be more proud of it. I think we are here because of all of that had happened. I think some of the most hardest parts were from day one, like both of us coming from completely technical background, completely non-finance background, to getting into a space of finance, to a space that's regulated, to getting a license, to starting something in that space, and then every day, like figuring out, like, how can we use technology to change it. And I think the focus for us, the only brand value for us, was that we'll be the most innovative company that's...
But you said the downs are really what you see inside. The world doesn't see it. But what have been the biggest ups, you'd say, if that's something you can disclose?
Yeah, biggest ups, I think, day one, I think getting the first 100 customers was an extremely hard affair. I remember both me and Shashank used to go to co-working spaces, go to random Bangalore startup groves and say, hey, we are building a payment gateway, do you want to try it out? And there are people who say, yes, we are interested, and we'll actually go to their offices and sit and code their payment gateway for them. Because, like, we didn't want them to have any reasons to say, hey, I'll take a few more weeks, I'll take a few more days. We'll say, we'll sit in your office and code it for you. Can you just give us a shot? I think, and when any customer would go live, I remember in the early days, we used to have this channel where every single transaction would be shown. So, not the names, but like a 20 rupees payment happened, 100 rupees payment happened. Every single transaction we'll celebrate. So if somebody did a large payment like at 10,000 rupees, we'll just celebrate. Hey, somebody did a 10,000 rupees on Razorpay. And so, that's the time, and today, of course, as you said, like we do $180 billion of payment volume. So there's no end to how big India can be.
You had a bit of a pause here because RBI was in the process of approving your license for the payment aggregator business. Since then, have you more than made up for the time that you had lost during the process? And how many merchants do you have now, and what pace are they growing at?
So the 1 year, almost a year, 10 months is when we were paused from onboarding. And of course, that was a pretty hard time, I would say. Those are one of the downs because for a fast-growing company like us, because for a fast-growing company, when you're not growing, that's really hard, because there's a large team that focuses on growth, that focuses on getting new customers, answering their queries, doing that. And we took a call, first of all, that, hey, no jobs will be affected. So we didn't do any layoffs, any downtimes. We moved our teams, reprioritized things so that we could still utilize, because we knew that, hey, it's going to get approved. Like it takes 10 months, 12 months, whatever, we'll figure our way out of it.
What is FY25 looking like now that you're close to the end of the year?
Yeah, FY25 has been actually the year of our fastest growth in the last couple of years, because we came out of the embargo, so there was a lot of latent demand through the year. On an overall basis, our payment business is profitable, and that's doing really well. It's growing, scaling up from there. The other aspects of the business, so the payment business is profitable and growing at about 50 to 60% year over year.
Okay.
So that's an amazing growth for that large business. The other aspects of our business, while not profitable yet, are growing at 100% plus year over year. So those are our growth drivers. So this is Razorpay X, Razorpay Engage, our international business, our POS business, all of those are growing 100% year over year.
Yeah.
So a lot of growth coming out of that, and I think that's the right balance as a company, that we have one business which is profitable and growing well, and the other business is growing really fast and we continue to invest in. I think at least for the next 1 year, we expect this is how the ecosystem will be for Razorpay.
Okay.
I think in a year or two out, I think we'll be profitable at an overall level, and that's when we feel we'll be the right place to look for a listing or something like that.
Since you brought up the listing, bring us up to speed. You're in the process of redomiciling. How much is that costing you? When is the process going to be completed, and how large a listing are you looking at?
Yeah, so the flip should take maybe 3-4 months more. I think it's not in our control. It's a regulatory process. The tax is also not in our control. So there are no figures around here and there, but the actual number will depend on how the regulators value us and how much they decide that we need to pay. It's a large number, but I think it's a heavy cost, but it's a small price to pay for coming back to India, the way I would put it. I think once that flipping is done, it will take about a year and a half or something from there to go public listing at the minimum. So I'll say we are at least 2 years away from our public listing.
Okay,
but
so 2027 is the year that Razorpay will be publicly listed?
Fingers crossed.
On that note, it is time for us